Hello, everyone, and if you can't believe it, it's a Thursday. And without further ado, today I'm going to talk about Great Britain and the royal family. Why am I talking about the UK? Let me tell you, ever since I was a kid, I was a fan of Doctor Who, perhaps the most British TV show to ever exist. That led me to be fond of the UK, and I even have proof. Yep, that's me. That's me as a child standing next to a pearly Photoshop flag of England. Furthermore, my teeth are crooked, so I can relate to the general population of Britain on a deep spiritual level. And I even cried and mourned when the Queen Elizabeth II died. I think that moment showed how much she meant not only to the Britain, but to millions of people around the world. I mean, she was a staple in the lives of many people, and even became a staple in pop culture by her being mentioned in so many movies, TV shows, and even memes. She was a queen for almost as long as my grandma is alive, and that's crazy to think about. Queen Elizabeth II was born in 1926, and she became the Queen of England at just 25 years old. Imagine that, 25. Most people are still figuring their lives out, and she became the head of the state of the United Kingdom. Her reign lasted 70 years, making her the longest reigning monarch in British history. She lived through World War II, the Cold War, the rise of the internet, and even social media. In fact, her coronation in 1953 was the first one ever to be broadcasted on television. It symbolized a new era, a monarchy that was ancient but also adapting to the modern times. As a constitutional monarch, she did not rule the country politically. The UK is a constitutional monarchy, meaning that the monarch reigns, but the parliament governs. However, her role was still incredibly important. She was the head of the state, head of the armed forces, and supreme governor of the Church of England. Every day, government documents were delivered to her in the red boxes. She met weekly with the prime minister. She represented the nation both in times of celebration and during times of tragedy. She wasn't just a symbol, she was stability. After her passing in 2022, the throne was passed to her eldest son, Charles III. The royal family today belongs in the House of Windsor, a name chosen in 1917 by King George V to sound more British during the First World War. King Charles III had been the Prince of Wales for the longest time in the British history before becoming the king. For decades, he focused on issues like climate change, architecture, and charitable work, sometimes even speaking about topics considered to be controversial for a royal. But the royal family is more than just one person. It's an institution made up of many members, each with their own personal responsibilities. One of the most famous royal figures of the 20th century was Diana, Princess of Wales. She married then Prince Charles in 1981 in a wedding watched by over 7,500 million people worldwide. Diana became a global icon, not just because of her style, but because of her compassion. She worked with children, supported hospitals, and famously helped to bring attention to landmine victims. Even after her tragic death in 1997, she remains one of the most beloved members of the royal family to this day. Her eldest son, William, Prince of Wales, is now heir to the throne. He represents the future of the monarchy. Alongside with his wife Catherine, he focuses on mental health awareness, environmental issues, and supporting young people. Their wedding in 2011 was watched by millions, proving that the fascination with the royal family continues even in the 23rd century. Today, their power is not political. It is symbolic, ceremonial, and charitable. They open parliament. They host state visits to Buckingham Palace. They represent the UK abroad. They support hundreds of charities and attend national events like the Remembrance Day. And perhaps, most importantly, they provide continuity. Governments change, prime ministers come and go, but monarchy remains. For some people, that stability is reassuring, especially at times of tragedy, like in the year 2020 when the coronavirus happened. For others, it raises questions about whether such an institution still belongs in a modern democracy. Whether people support it or question it, the royal family remains deeply connected to British identity and history. From medieval traditions, like the ceremony of keys at the Tower of London, to modern environmental initiatives, the monarchy continues to adapt, sometimes successfully, sometimes controversially. Even those of us who didn't grow up in the United Kingdom still recognize elements of it through social media and global culture. In my case, it was watching Doctor Who and other British media as a child that led me to appreciate the UK. Thank you for watching, and I wish for all of you to have a great day today. Thank you.